Hello, Art One. So we are ever so close to Thanksgiving break. You guys are sitting hopefully at school with only 2 more days left. I'm planning on being back as soon as we come back from Thanksgiving. So thanks to everybody who's asked. I'm doing well. I'm actually hanging in there and just have to ride out the quarantine at this point. So I will see you when we return. In the meantime, there should be three things minimum that you should have on your to do list to tackle for me. And in most cases, you probably have them done or nearly finished, but this is just a double check. So you have 2 days to take care of them. Number one, you know that you were assigned a sketch journal assignment that is sitting in the second 9 weeks file folder. It is black. I'm actually going to click on it right now so that you can see it. And in there, as always, you can see the assignment as it is typed up. You can see a video that explains it from me, as well as two other day videos. I believe it was Monday and Tuesday of last week, my first 2 days of not being with you. I will put this one in so that it'll talk about day 5 and 6. And then you should have all of the information and you should have all the supplies in the classroom that you need to accomplish that. So, as a friendly reminder, remember that it must be in perspective. It should be a chair that looks three-dimensional, either in 1 point or 2 point perspective. It must be shaded. It must have full value, not only value on the chair, but also in a cast shadow below it. It should be in some kind of expressive environment that includes writing, text that explains why you chose the chair, who's the person you chose, and how does the chair relate to that person. So just as we did in our second journal assignment, where the writing, we actually started with the writing in the background and then incorporated over top of that, you could do it in that method, or you could come up with any other creative way to put the writing in there. The chair should be large and fill the space. I will tell you right away that if it doesn't fill the 2 page paper spread in some creative way, you're going to find that you have not followed the directions. All of this information has already been shared with you in multiple videos as well as on the handout. But on the off chance you've forgotten or you needed a friendly reminder, remember it needs writing, full value, it needs to be in perspective, and it needs to be a chair that is clearly shows that you did some research and it relates to the person of importance that you've chosen. So that's the homework assignment. It is due December 17th. You will not have any other in class time to work on it since you've been given 5 days. That's really unprecedented or unusual, but you had 5 days to work on it. So you should have had plenty of in class time to work on it. It is still due December 17th. The second thing that needs to be taken care of is actually the assignment that was interrupted before I left. We did two small things in preparation for our assignment. One is understanding emphasis in a focal point worksheet. We did it, studied the Hoover artist Ryan Meinerding, who now works for Marvel and works for Marvel Universe. So I gave you a worksheet in Kami that looks like this. Let's point out a few things that are important. So if you scroll to what's the second page, the one with Hulk on it, you're going to see that it says you need to make sure that you have those 5 strategies defined. I'm getting several people who are turning them in that are not defining them. Define what unique means as relating to a focal point, placement, isolation, convergence, and contrast. The beautiful thing about Kami is you can type right in there with a text box. In addition, then, in both images, you want to identify the focal point. I'm going to move my head for a second. You're going to identify the focal point on that line right there. You're going to identify the three things that made it the focal point. You're going to take three of them from the list that's on the left. And then you're going to defend why you think those three things are important. Then, if you scroll to the one that's really the second page, they've flipped, the same thing occurs. You're going to identify the focal point, identify 3 strategies that were used to make this the focal point, and defend how each of these was used. If you do not fill out the definitions on the second page, you're going to miss out on 5 easy points. So please make sure you do this. This total is worth 20 points. If you know you made an error and it's been already graded, of course you may make corrections to it and I will regrade it over the next couple days. If you have still yet to turn that in, that needs to come in before Thanksgiving break. You will not receive any credit. In other words, you will receive a 0 if you don't have it turned in by this Tuesday, unless there are extenuating circumstances because of you being out of school. But most of you have been in class, and most of you have been had class time to work on that. So next Tuesday is it. The last thing on the list of three, there is a show what you know that deals with things relating to emphasis. So the worksheet I just showed you, there is a quiz there that deals with that. Full disclosure, remember you only get one time to take this quiz, and it is for academic achievement. There is one short answer question at the end, and it looks very similar to parts of this worksheet. So, in other words, it's going to ask you, what is a focal point? It's going to ask you, how do you make something a focal point? Choose at least two or three ways from the list of you pick, and then defend why it is a focal point. How does that thing, unique placement, isolations, convergence, or contrast, defend or relate to that photo? So you need to be able to defend your reasonings why you chose at least three of those items. So the quiz that you take that show what you number no, number five will actually look very similar to that worksheet in a lot of ways. It's going to ask similar questions. So that's it. Those three things on the list should be done. When we come back from break, I promise you we're going to hit the ground running and go back to our sticks, stones, and bones assignment. We're going to be doing some photography on day one. My expectation, you should be ready because you've got plenty of time to tackle the odds and ends of things so that you're ready. I hope you and your family have a great, safe Thanksgiving break. Thank you guys for all your kind emails and wishes. I will see you back on Tuesday, back from break. Have a great time, everybody.